So in chapter 7, verse 1, God says to Moshe, Re'en esaticha Elohim leFaro. Look, I made you a master over Pharaoh. Aaron achicha, and Aaron your brother, yeh niviecha. Aaron your brother will be your niviecha. Now, normally in the Torah, the word navi means a prophet. So Aaron is going to be, your brother is going to be your prophet. But it can't be that that's what it means here, says Rashi. Rashi gives a different explanation, and then after that, we'll see what Rabbi Soloveitchik says. So what does it mean, Aaron, your brother will be your prophet? It doesn't mean your Navi, it doesn't mean your prophet. Rashi says, Kitargumo. Rashi says this is consistent with what Unkelos, the Aramaic translation, says. It means mitur gimanach. It means miturgaman. Your miturgaman. That's an Aramaic word, miturgaman. What does that mean, your miturgaman? So there's two ways to understand the miturgaman. Miturgaman the miturgaman in the Talmud is somebody who was they didn't have microphones, and the rabbi would give a speech, and the rabbi would, and after the rabbi would give the speech, he wasn't able to project his voice for everybody to hear. So he would really just whisper it to somebody whose job was to then proclaim it to everyone. This was a professional loudspeaker, a professional spokesman. And so what we're basically saying was Moses, he couldn't speak in a loud voice. So Aaron is going to be the one who's tasked with the responsibility of saying this in a very loud voice. Aaron is tasked with this responsibility. So that's the first answer. That Aaron will be your loudspeaker, so to speak. A second explanation of what a miturgaman is that somebody, they used to read the Torah, and when they would read the Torah portion, after reading the Torah portion, they would read one verse of the Torah and then translate it into the language for everybody else to understand it. That was called the miturgaman. We don't do this anymore, really. Now we just read it through, and if you don't know Hebrew, then you just read the English because we have the books printed up. But it used to be that people didn't know the English, and so therefore, after the person would read it, they would read one verse, and then each verse would be translated. And so that's what Rashi is saying, that he would be your miturgaman. It's one of these two possibilities. Either it means that Aaron is going to be your spokesperson to say it in a very loud voice for you, not like the person who goes up to the press conference because you're too busy to talk to the press, but rather it's the person who says it in a loud voice to help you with the diction so that he can enunciate every word in a clear manner for the people to hear. Or else, alternatively, he's going to be your translator to make your deep thoughts, bring them out in a manner which other people can understand, like the miturgaman. Just one question, just one moment, Richard, we'll get to you. So then this gives us insight into what is the nature of prophecy. We often think, what is a prophet? So if we're going to say that a prophet here can mean a possibility, a prophet could be somebody who's either just meant to amplify the exact vision that they receive from God, just to be the voice of God, or else the prophet could possibly be a person whose job it is to take the idea from God and to translate into a voice that the people can understand. So those are two different ways to understand the concept of prophecy. But I also want to share, before we get to the question that I see is up there, I want to share what Rabbi Soloveitchik says. The Rabbi Soloveitchik says something else. Rabbi Soloveitchik says that it teaches us something else. Rabbi Soloveitchik says that here the Navi, Aaron, your brother will be your Navi. What it means is that Aaron was supposed to be not just his assistant, but also his agent, meaning to say that he was being taught that God told Moses that only he and not Aaron was to speak to Pharaoh. But now Moses was to be able to also appoint Aaron. Aaron is going to be his own person in his own right, which is almost like the exact opposite approach. So Moses and Aaron would now divide the agency that God has sent him. Initially, it was just Moses, but now they're sharing the responsibility. And Aaron is given a role of leadership. And so now Moses and Aaron were now in this sense, and this goes back to the question we said before, what does it mean? He is Moses and he is Aaron. That in the sense of they have a shared leadership role. They have a shared leadership that's what it means, that they're equal with respect to their shared leadership responsibilities, or they're sharing in their leadership responsibilities. And that's perhaps what it means here, that Aaron will be your prophet, that Aaron is assuming the role, the higher role of a prophet, and he's not just your assistant anymore. Okay, I see that there is a question there, so let's take the question. Let's see.